Hey y'all, we experiencing some technical difficulties. We are, as always, gonna blame it on Leroy. Leroy's fault, not my fault. Leroy's fault. So Leroy, go ahead and talk a bit, man, while I figure out this other part here. Let me see here. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Good morning, everybody. Everybody, I know y'all haven't seen us together in a minute. We've been, we've been live individually, but we haven't
Yeah,
been here together. I ain't calling it the Grown Man Podcast because I, because I don't know if this is what that is. We just coming on. We all know we just pop up. We just pop up. Y'all never know.
absolutely.
We just like Beetlejuice. You say Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. You know, pop up somewhere.
Beetlejuice.
or or Candyman. I don't know if you ever saw that movie back in the day, bro. It is the funniest thing because when that movie came out, Candyman, me and my buddy at the time, we went to the $2 movie. It was a $2 movie back then, right?
Oh,
So we
whoa,
like,
whoa, whoa, whoa! Slow down. $2. I ain't never been to a $2 movie, bro.
really? Oh
So
man, well you missed out
that's
then.
no, that's I was not born back then.
Oh, don't even try it. Whatever. I was in high
Clearly,
school, so I know you was in high school too. So
clearly,
don't even, don't even try. Don't
bruh.
even try.
I
You
could,
older than me, so I know you. I know you went to the $2 movie.
I could not have been born. Like that's crazy. Let you
Yeah.
finish the story because I got questions. I just got major questions. Go ahead, man. Finish your story. Go
So
ahead.
we go to the movies and we like let's go see Candyman, right? Me and him, we joked the whole movie because it was so stupid. We
Yeah.
I was and to this day I still say I want my $2 back because because I could not stand that movie. I was just like, what is this, man? It's dumb. You know, but I will say this: you'll never hear me say Candyman 3 times though. It's like that. I don't know if you've seen the TikToks that have Diddy popping up behind the people. They
I
show
ain't see.
they you ain't seen those. Or
Let me tell you. Let me
you
tell you for real. For real. I don't know how people are going to take this, but for real. For real. I listened to my spiritual father say this, and I really, really think it's true, right? So, isn't it amazing, bruh, as a people, and I'm not saying that other races, nationalities don't do this, but let me just talk to ours.
right,
Isn't
right.
it kind of amazing to you that everyone, not everyone, but many people are finding all of this funny that continue to come for that brother, and we're supposed to live in this place where we are innocent until proven guilty, right? But we don't really live in that place. We
We
don't
really
really live
don't.
in the place
Yeah,
of
we
innocent
really don't.
until proven guilty.
It,
We
it's just
are,
a
yeah,
it's
we,
just a
we live in a
traffic.
place
It's
where
just the
we're
same
guilty
for
until
people.
proven innocent. It's the
Correct.
ass
Yeah.
backwards approach, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have intentionally, anytime I've seen anything about that brother, I've intentionally scrolled past it. Like I'm not going to
Mhm.
participate. I have been the victim, for lack of a better term,
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
public lynching. I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
I've been the victim of that. I know what that
Yeah.
feels like, right? And so
Right.
for me, um, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't know whether the brother's guilty or not guilty. I really don't know, Leroy. And what I won't do is participate in the demise of another black man. Now, if what he is accused of is true, then there's a day of reckoning, right? But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to participate in this. So whenever I see something about Diddy, I used to, as you know, I used to say no Diddy, shit like that. And for me now, I was checked about it by Holy Spirit. And so for me now, I pray for that brother because that brother got kids, and a lot of the things that we don't often think about, right? I'm not a fan of his behavior. What's up, G? I'm not a fan of his behavior at all. If what they're saying is true, I'm not a fan of his behavior that I know is true, right? But what I won't do is participate in the crushing of another black man because I've had other black men crush me during the time that I really needed somebody to help me, lift me up, say something, right? It's crazy because the majority of the guys that publicly lynched me, and I probably shouldn't say that, huh, Leroy, because they'll cut us off if I talk about lynching and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, that might be
Yeah,
a trigger word. I'm not
give me
sure.
another,
I
give
don't
me
know.
another word. You're a
Just
wordsmith.
the bashing,
Yeah,
public
public
bashing,
bashing.
bashing. You know,
I've been the victim of that. And everybody that wants to know why I ride with Jamal Bryant, I will always ride with Jamal Bryant for the rest of my life, is because when everybody else walked away, that brother
yeah.
helped me through the most difficult time of my life. He walked me through it
Wow,
and suggested
that's true.
counseling, suggested therapy. Hey man, this is what you got to do. This is how you handle this. So no one can say anything about Jamal Bryant to me. And he is, there are people that like him, people that don't like him. I'm okay with that. Like there are people that like me, don't like me. I'm okay with that. But for me, that brother has been for decades now a genuine friend to Donald Morton, right? And to my well-being. So yeah, man. But that had nothing to do with your comment. Your comment was about. Let me tell you this. You're a man of faith. Go ahead and say it 3 times, man. Whatever that phrase was, go ahead and say it 3 times, Leroy.
Oh, you talking about Candyman, 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 Candyman. It's just a movie. You know what I'm saying?
And here's
but
the
that was
probably.
the adage behind the movie, that if he said it, then he will appear. So if you see my screen go blank, then he showed up.
Before we get into some meat of some things, man, how was your mom's birthday? How was dinner? How was all those things?
Oh no, it was great. It was great. She's always been just a simple person. It
Yeah,
doesn't take much.
my
She's
mom
just
was
like,
too. Yeah.
I just want to go to dinner. Just she's more about family than anything else. She just wants to
Yeah,
see
bro.
us. She wants to see her grandkids and
Yeah.
a great grand that she has now and everything like that. Everything that she is about spending time with the family.
Did did your
And having a
did
time.
your children fly in from Cambodia? The kids did your children did your children fly in from Cambodia, bro?
Now, you know what? I don't usually say the N word, but she.
Did you
No,
did
no,
you
my kids did not fly from Cambodia or the Eastern Shore, as my other friend Sonya said. You know, you got kids down on the Eastern Shore. I know you was down there for 4 years, for 5 years.
absolutely, bro. Without question, boy. Let me tell y'all something. I want y'all to put this in the chat too, if you guys have experienced this. I just went. This is probably too much information, but I don't care. Y'all know enough about me to
He
know
really don't, y'all. He
I
really
don't
don't care. When he
hey,
say that, he really don't.
I don't care. I'm free. So so I posted a pic maybe a couple of months ago, Leroy, of me. I was in prayer time and writing scripture, journaling, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I was in my t-shirt. And I posted like this is me early in the morning. And somebody said, "Yeah, you need new t-shirts, bro." like that t-shirt that you got on,
It didn't had its
it
time.
done had it, right? And so
That's
I
funny.
threw away all of my t-shirts this morning, right? And went to Walmart so I could get some t-shirts. Bruh, why do they have all things, Leroy? So I got some cologne, I got some Kenneth Cole Black. I really like Kenneth Cole Black, right?
Okay.
And the lady
Okay.
tried to talk me and she said, you should get some Kenneth Cole Blue. Have you smelled it? I smelled it. I said, oh, that's nice, but it's blue, it's not black. And I'm all things black. So she a white lady. She's like, okay, like I don't know what you're talking about, right? So I paid for that, and then I went to go get some underwear, and the lady said to me, she said, hey, are you continuing to shop? Because they have the underwear and the t-shirts in Walmart
Locked up.
behind the glass case.
Yep, they locked up now. Yep. T-shirts,
so
the t-shirts and the drawers. And the drawers is locked
they
up.
don't lock the drawers up.
They don't lock the drawers up.
So
I saw that too. I happened to go in there a while ago, but I saw that too.
You saw that too? So
Yeah.
I get to, she said, you'll have to tell the lady that rings you up that you have your order at the customer service. Like, what? So I get to the thing and the lady says, will this be all? I got a Kit Kat. Would this be all? I said, no, I was told to tell you I have some undershirts and some, she said, drawers. You got drawers? Right? So I said, yes, ma'am. I got some drawers over at customer service. And I said to her, Leroy, as she told the lady to bring them over, I said to her, I said, isn't it a crazy day? Look at Hightower. Hightower said, dang, Don, where are you shopping in Compton? It's everywhere now, bro. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, like I said, because it's up here too. It was up there, here too. So Walmart is doing it across the board.
Said, this is what really hit me. I asked the lady. This is for every businessman. I asked the lady. I said, "Hey, isn't it a sad day where you got to lock up the drawers?" So she started laughing. She was an older lady, and she said, "Nah, let me tell you what happened. They did inventory." And when they did inventory in this store alone, $875,000 worth of underwear was missing.
Yep, it's easy. That was easy pickings because we went through the same thing at K&G. Because if you just have the pack, they can tear the pack right there and take out what they want. Stuff it in the coat. I'm just saying. I ain't never done that. I'm just saying.
Leroy putting all of us on game. What we do, Leroy? We ain't doing nothing now.
I'm just saying. I heard that's what they do. No, yeah, seriously, no. I ain't stealing no drawers. I'm sorry. If I can't buy the drawers, I don't need to be in there.
It's out there like in stock.
But it's easy. It's easy. That's like low-hanging fruit for thieves. Yeah. And there are, believe this or not, there are professional thieves.
Oh, boosters.
They will go into stores specifically to steal. We had them all the time in K&G.
Hey, listen, let me tell y'all something.
They stealing suits, bro.
Don't judge me, judge your mama. Let me tell y'all something. I used to buy from boosters. I used to buy from boosters. They got the nice price. Right, so I get anything I want for $2.99. Right, yeah. So I used to buy from boosters. I don't buy from boosters anymore. I'm not going to tell y'all what period of my life that was. So I might have gotten
yesterday.
K&G.
That was back in the day. Yesterday.
Yeah, so my morning has been rather eventful as I just went for some
and it's crazy though. They lock up the drawers, right? But you can go and grab any pair of tennis shoes and shoes that you want all along in there.
But the drawers are a hot commodity.
Yeah, exactly.
The drawers are a hot commodity. So
yeah,
I've never seen those. I just hadn't seen it. I have to admit, I just hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's been for a minute. That's they've done that for a minute now. It's been a minute now. So,
Hightower said it ain't like that out there in Stockbridge. Yes, it is. You just ain't bought no drawers in a while. What you really telling us is you ain't bought no drawers in a while. You got old drawers. That's what G is really telling us. The Real Love Nation, ready to love again. The manufacturer and genesis and leader of Loving Again just told all of us that he doesn't buy drawers. That's what G Hightower just said.
like that was one of the funniest episodes of Martin. He said, "With G, was it GD GDG?" He said, "What's that stand for, Tommy?" Tommy said,
Got the
He
drawers.
said, "What got?" He said, "That was hilarious." I was like,
GTD. He said,
"Yeah, GT, yeah,
what is
GTG,
GTD? He
yeah,
said, got the drawers.
got the draw."
He said, what?
What?
Got the drawers. What? Got the drawers.
Yeah, so they've been getting the drawers at Walmart, so
Yeah,
they had to
they've been getting the drawers,
lock them
bro.
up. They had
And
to lock them
when
up.
she told me, I understood like
Yeah,
$875,000
yeah,
just in
it's
underwear.
serious, bro. And think about that. That's just underwear. That
That's
ain't
just
anything
underwear,
else in
bro.
the store. That
That's
ain't
just
nothing
underwear.
else in the store. So yeah,
So
that's
when I bought
serious.
the cologne, I could understand, it was behind the case. I get that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I just
yeah,
I have to admit, I did not expect to have, because I'm looking for, to open, just picking up a
yeah.
pair, a
Hmm.
pack and rolling, right? But yeah, it wasn't like
And
that. Hey,
it,
Leroy, it's cold as hell out here today.
really,
I was walking this morning. The
See,
the
I ain't walk
the
outside today. I see
Yeah, but
if it's below 50 degrees,
yeah,
I'm
and
walking outside. I'll
really,
walk in
I
place
would work out
inside.
inside too, but I'm really challenging myself to do things that are
Mm,
uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And
mm,
so
gotcha.
today it was 45 degrees this
Yep,
morning,
yep,
right? And
yep.
when I first came to Georgia, I'm thinking, yeah, like this is Hotlanta. So I'm thinking it's warm climate like Florida and like California.
Oh nah, nah.
Nah, it
It
ain't
gets
like
down
that.
in the
This real,
40. Yeah, it gets down in the
this,
40s there
yeah,
in
bro, it's
Georgia.
real
Yeah,
seasons out here.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
G
They do.
Hightower didn't tell me, ain't nobody else tell me that it's real seasons out here, but it genuinely is. So good afternoon to all of y'all. Morning. Good morning to all of y'all. Leroy and I wanted to pop on and check on your fever. Like many of you have a fever or you're sick or something like that because you don't have your ticket to the gala. You got to be laid up somewhere with a fever. COVID got you something. If you don't have your ticket to the gala, what's wrong with you? It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to my boy, Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant, who is keynoting for us on on the 19th. Listen, man, that dude is probably one of the greatest orators of our time. Like, like,
Mm,
like he is to this generation what Jesse was, right?
mm.
Jesse could Jesse gonna rhyme on you. Jesse, he gonna rhyme on you. Some of the sentences I got to tell Jesse. Some of the sentences didn't make sense, but he was Jesse Jackson, so he could get away with the rhymes that he would. Greatest orator. He was one of the greatest orators of our time. Jamal Bryant represents that, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say about black men. And he is so yeah, I'm excited to see. What about you, bro? What are you thinking? What have you been thinking? What's been on your mind as it relates to the gala?
No, I'm excited. This will be my God, I can't even say that because I've heard him preach in person before here when he was here in Baltimore. But I'm excited for the gala just because, and you and I have talked about this. I'm looking forward to the gala, but even beyond the
Yeah,
gala
yeah,
for what remain is,
yeah,
and what this means for the organization, what it means for the Atlanta, Georgia area, and the things that are coming. The gala is just kind of like a gathering point. We've said this, it's a gathering point. It's bringing, it's bringing men who are rising and reclaiming together. It's
yes,
bringing organizations that need to rise and reclaim together with those, and uniting in a way that is making that is aim is to make men better.
yeah, for sure.
And that's what the to me the underlying foundation of the gala is. We want to see men be better, and those that
Specifically,
are
specifically men. Now the gala is a bit different because we have two sides to remain, right? We have
correct,
the for-profit side,
correct,
we've got the nonprofit side. The gala is really about our brothers who are in society, which is quite frankly every black man. We can't we can't say that black men are like white men because the issues and challenges are very different. Um,
correct.
and even within the black community, right, there are affluent brothers who are doing incredibly well, C-suite brothers, right, entrepreneurs, owners of business, right. And then there are the marginalized brothers who have not been able to find a path and see a path and find themselves in prison. And our goal is to help brothers that are on that side. So the gala is really about how do we support brothers that are incarcerated, coming home, returning citizens? How do we support brothers that are in the system because of child support, inconsistent in the system because of low level offenses? How do we support brothers that are coming out that uh, are have done something that most of society would call horrific? Right? We want to support every brother because the truth of the matter is, whatever that brother has done, he is most likely to do again if no one intervenes. I need y'all to type that in the chat. Dwight Robinson, what's up, man? Grand Rising, bruh. Looking forward to meeting you and promoting our growing agenda. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's going to be phenomenal. So, Leroy, this is about every brother, to your point, every brother, but specifically, it's about men who are have been relegated to the margins, right? Guys who have encountered sickness and disease and no health care, guys who have mental health issues and nobody cares, guys who have been divorced and want to recover a relationship but don't know how, guys who are jobless and nobody will hire them. So we try to teach them entrepreneurial skills, right? These are the kinds of guys that we're after so that they don't recidivate. Let's talk about that a bit, Leroy. The likelihood of most guys, the there's a very large majority of brothers that go to jail that are coming home, right? The majority of them are not staying. The majority of them are not on death row. The majority of them are coming home. So the question has to be, how do we support them when they come home? Because many of them, I know from watching it in the system, are given a couple of dollars, kicked out on the street, fend for yourself. That's the way that most brothers are treated when they leave jail. What would you say about that, bro?
Well, it's a necessity. My closest friend, Sandra, she has a brother that is incarcerated, and
Okay.
one of the things that she used to talk to me about was, and he's been in and out of the system,
Okay.
back and forth, in and out of the system. And she's like, Leroy, there's no help for him.
Mhm.
There's nothing
Yes.
that he can go to when he comes out. And she's like, there needs to be something out here for those brothers when they
Yes.
come out to help them and assist them so that they don't go back. And I was like, and I tell her all the time, I was like, there it is. I said there's, but you have to be adamant about finding them because because they're not readily available. They're not readily talked about. They're not readily known. A lot of the CEOs or correctional officers, they don't direct them to organizations such as Remand.
Yeah.
Remand isn't in their scope of influence or and everything like that to want to help these brothers so that they do not return and everything like that. So that's more the thing too, because what we're doing here in Remand is it's nuance, and but at the same time I don't think it's paid attention to, as your mom aptly said. You
Yes.
know, don't call yourself a correctional facility if you're not correcting anything on the inside. And
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
part of that correcting is making sure or ensuring, which is our assignment, making sure that when they do come out, that they don't, that they have some place that's different. Because
Yeah.
if they go back to the same environment, the same people, the same areas, they keep hanging around the same friends, they're more than likely to commit and go back to doing the same things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what we do is disrupt
Absolutely.
those obstacles that get in the way. You have to
Absolutely.
disrupt that.
Absolutely.
You got to disrupt it. That means give them something different to be able
Absolutely.
to go to be able to look at, and to be able to begin to have a different mindset, or as you say, a different frame
Yes.
that they're able to look at the
Yes.
world that they are part of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely, man. So I'm really honored to lead such a movement like Remand, and to be connected with brothers like you, Gerald Hightower, Dwight Robinson, Bucci, Walter Sellers, Eric Robinson, and the brothers that we have the privilege to serve, the brothers that are incarcerated, that
hmm
we have the privilege to
hmm
serve. Because sometimes, Leroy, talk about this too, man. Sometimes, like if Eric Robinson, who is handling all of the work in Delaware, right? Eric Robinson has been incarcerated. So
hmm
he understands it in a way that I don't understand it.
hmm
He understands
hmm
it in a way that he teaches me to understand it. I have a real clear understanding of brothers, right? I have a real clear understanding of what causes brothers to do bad and crazy stuff. Like I'm clear about that. He has a way of taking the language and making it palatable for the brothers that are inside the facility because he understands it. We like I've never been to jail. I went to jail for 45 minutes. I had enough at 45 minutes. I went to jail because I had after when I paid my final payment of child support, I had a ticket or warrant for a ticket. So they took me as soon as they took my last check. They said, "Mr. Morton, come this way." Right? They locked my tail up in Delaware, boy, for 45 minutes, and it was crazy because my son's mother that I had just made the last payment to, Leroy, my son's mother had to bail me out of jail. She had to bail me. She
Wow.
had to bail me out of jail, right? So I don't know. I don't know the stories of prison. I don't pretend to know the stories of prison, right? So I think oftentimes, man, we talk about shit we don't know, right? And we hold brothers captive to without wanting to disrupt it in the way that you talked about. Without wanting to disrupt it, we just want to talk about brothers. They'll never be anything. They'll never do anything with their lives. That's not true. These brothers want transformation. Not all of them. Not all
hmm
of them. But these brothers want transformation. What as a society has kept us from providing transformation for brothers that look like you and I? It is for the public good that these brothers transform. And I don't see a lot of celebration around it, around organizations that do the work of helping these brothers disrupt.
Well, but it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be because it. that very thing that we do disrupts the narrative that they want to
Ooh. So they
that
like
they
the
want.
narrative.
They like the net. Why do you think that there is the pipeline to prison? And that's real.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
looking at, and brothers, y'all got to understand this. They're looking at young boys that are in
Third grade.
third, fourth, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and they're making facilities
That's right.
based on those
That's right.
numbers.
That's right.
And
That's
I tell brothers, they gotta understand. And if you want to take it to a business aspect, the prisons that they're building is the housing place. The product is you.
it's you. Yeah, you the raw
You
material.
are
Ain't no
their
doubt about it.
product.
Yeah, no doubt about
They've got to fill those facilities. So it does not do them any good if we are rehabilitating. We're making sure that they don't recidivize it. I don't know if that's a word, but
it. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
where they
Yeah,
will come back or stay in the system that they've created. So people talk about the system being broken.
yeah.
I don't believe the system is
The system's
broken. It's
functioning just
doing
the
what
way it
it's
should.
supposed to do,
Yeah,
what it's intended to do. It's morphed into different, different ways, but the system is the system. If you look at from the time we came over here on the boat, on the boats to 2024, the if you will, the principles, if you will, of that system have not changed. The way in which they go about achieving and doing the principles that they've laid out may be different, but they need the system to be in place and to be able to accomplish what it needs to accomplish. So no, they're not going to celebrate it. They're not gonna say hurrah. When I was in Kenya last year, bruh, we went to an actual river to do baptisms, right?
yes.
When the people went in to get baptized, and this is the first time I'd ever seen this in my life. When they went in to get baptized, they came out. Those of us that were along the side and everything, and I mean, it went from. I think they said they were initially only baptizing, I think 25 to 30 people. They wound up baptizing like 61, 62 people that gave their
Yeah.
life to Christ that day.
Wow.
But here's the thing that blew me away. When they were coming out of the water, bruh, everybody was clapping and
Mm.
praising them. It was the most wonderful thing to see and to experience. And that's how, like you just said, to your point, that's how we've got to be with these brothers coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah, 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 yeah,
We've
yeah,
got to celebrate them and say,
yeah,
no, brother, you did that.
yeah.
You've done what you did. Let's move beyond that and
You
begin this
paid your
new life.
price. You paid your
Right.
price.
You did your debt.
Yeah,
You did your
absolutely.
debt. Now let's move you past that and let's reform you. Let's transform, as we talk about. Let's transform your mind so that you don't have to go back there to where you were before. So here's what we've done. We put these programs, these principles, these set of principles, all these things so that you can be successful. Now, whether it's successful or not is going to be up to you and how serious you take what we're giving to you or what we're putting into you. But you've got to want to do the work. And like that goes to your point of saying that everybody doesn't want to be transformed.
Yes,
And that's fine. There's gonna be some that you lose. You're not gonna get everybody.
yes.
But for those that want to be transformed, here's what we have in place for you. And it will change your life. And you can talk to the brothers that have been impacted by Remand, who have gone through the program and everything like that, especially in the facilities that have gone through this. It is transformational, and but it's a lot of work, and we've been upfront about that. It takes work to do this,
Absolutely.
whether it's the C-suite or whether it's the marginalized. Either way, it takes work. You've got to be willing to do the work.
Absolutely,
And
bro.
Remand is here for the brothers that want to do the work.
Absolutely,
Simple. Simply
absolutely,
that want to
man.
do the work.
So let's talk about this a bit, man. We can't do this work without the help of community. Everything that
Yep.
has ever been
Absolutely.
done,
Yep.
right, happens through community. It happens through support. It happens through a collective. We are
Hmm.
not one of those organizations that pretend that we can do it alone, right? We have to have partners. We have to have sponsors. We have to
Yep.
have philanthropists that give to the work, right? That has to happen if the work is going to advance. So everyone can't, like, we have brothers that one particular brother that's on my mind is out of the country but is still supporting Remand, right, and the work that we're doing to say, hey, I got your back. I won't be able to be there, but I'm gonna send something
Hmm.
to make sure you guys get done what you need to get done, right? So talk about the importance of relationship and partnership and sponsorship. Here's one of my favorite scriptures, Leroy, that everybody takes out of context, but it's a powerful text. Romans chapter 1, I think it's Romans 1 or Romans 1 and Romans 10. One of them talks about how can he preach except he be sent? Right? How can they hear without a preacher? And how can he preach except he be sent? So what he's really talking about is the sending of a preacher is supporting him financially or in any other way that is necessary for that preacher to get from this point to this point to deliver a message. There is a gospel of manhood. There is a gospel of restoration. There is a gospel of restitution and a gospel of resiliency that needs to be preached across this country to Black men so that they can restore and recover and become built up again to fulfill their responsibilities. But we can't do this work alone. It requires not just men to step up and into their rightful places, but it requires our sisters to say, hey, we got your back. Shout out to Sadira Davis, who sent the first day that we launched our website, she sent $100. Thank you for the work that you do. Right. So I'm grateful, brother. I'm grateful, Leroy, for brothers and sisters that stand with us and say, hey, you're doing the work. I just got a text out the blue, man, from a brother by the name of John L. Williams, a friend of mine in Delaware. Out the blue, 1028. I love you, bruh, and all the work that you do. Like out the blue. So thank you for texts like that. Thank you for the money of Sadira Davis, and thank you for the money and support of brothers and sisters across the country. Leroy, talk about the importance of that, man.
No, you've got to have people fail. Well, I don't say they fail to realize, but they don't truly understand the financial. I call it financial capital. There's different. I call them the 12
Mm,
forms of capital. One of the capitals, in order for organizations like this to sustain itself, in order for it to be in existence, is the financial capital and human capital. You just gave two that you gave of human capital. It's not just about the financial aspect of it, which is necessary because they're bills that got to be paid. We
yeah,
say this about the church all the time.
yeah,
Hey, that building got to be paid
yeah,
for.
yeah,
The lights got to stay on. And in order for Remand to do what Remand is assigned to do, there needs to be relationships and resources. As Clarence Avon said, relationships are resources. It's what gives you the ability to be able to do the things that you set out to do, and people believing in what it is that you're doing and saying, you know what, I'm going to put my financial means, resources behind you so that you can do what it is that you can do. There may be someone that says, hey, I can't do it financially, but I have an expertise that will lend to you needing to being able to get something done. You know, what is it that you need? This young lady, oh man, I was watching TikTok yesterday and I love this young lady's mind. She's beautiful, but she talked about it in terms of relationships. But they asked her this question. They were like, well, how do you answer the question, what do you bring to the table? And here's what she said, bro. I was just like, I've never heard anybody else say this, and any other woman specifically, but I believe it applies to us in business and remain and what we're doing. She said, what I would ask or what I would do was assess and see what the table needs. And then
Mm,
I can bring that to the table. I was like, yeah, I love this young lady. I was
yeah,
like, I'd have married her right then and there if she
yeah,
said that. And that's what we're talking about here with Remain. We want people to come to the table, but understand for them to ask, what is it that your table needs? She said, because if everybody brings turkey, then then we're all just eating turkey. She said, but if everyone's just bringing silverware, then we have nothing to eat. She said, but doing an assessment of what needs to be done and being able to bring that to the table, that's how you get accomplished what you want to get accomplished. Understanding what the needs are. So when you come and say what like your friend said, what does Remain need? She's like, look, you use this for whatever you need to use it for, the financial piece of it.
yeah,
Hey, you can do that,
yeah,
and the other that's overseas, it's like, look, bro, I can't be there, but
yeah,
here's what I can do.
yeah,
Since I'm not going to be in the room, I still want to make sure that what you all are doing is able to move forward and to do what it's supposed to do. That's the importance of sponsors. That's the importance of partners, and those that see the mission, that believe in the vision, of what we're doing here at Remain. It says, you know what, I want to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form that I can be a part of it,
yeah,
because I want to see black black men be better,
yeah,
and I want to play my part in making black men better,
yeah, yeah, for
and
sure,
seeing those organizations do what it is that they can do.
for
That's
sure,
my contribution
for
to
sure.
making our community, because as you said, making our community better. Because when you make a man better, you make the community better.
Absolutely.
So
So I want each of you to go to www.weareremand,
yes, sir.
www.weareremand.com, and scroll down a little bit, and you will see the ability to do a couple of things. You can sponsor, you can donate a table, you can purchase your tickets, and we have a special rate for those of you who say, you know what, that amount's a little hefty for me. All you got to do is hit me, DM me, and we have a special code that you can type in, and we got the hookup for you. Uh, we're a black organization. We understand. We got the hookup for you. We got the hookup. Hook me up, Doc. Yeah, we got the
not
hookup for you.
not the hookup that he talked about from the first thing that we talked about. It ain't that hookup
What
from the
hookup?
from the boosters from the
Nah, I ain't got
boosters.
no
It ain't
booster
it ain't
stuff.
it
I,
ain't it ain't that it ain't that
we ain't
kind of
got no
hookup,
drawers
yo.
for you. We ain't got no drawers.
It ain't that kind of hookup. We
Right?
talking about.
Yeah, we talking about something totally different. Um, and it's going to be an incredibly exciting event. Leroy, let's talk about some of the things that we're going to experience on the
Yeah.
19th. Obviously, we've already talked about Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant will be with us. He's going to give the keynote. Always look forward to hearing from that brother.
Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
is
Always has a powerful message.
always has a
Yeah.
powerful message. Excited about him being there. But we're also releasing the Black Male Agenda, which is an agenda and a strategy around how to move our collective brotherhood forward. Right. So let's talk about that a bit, man, because we do address things in the agenda that are not being addressed. Those of you that know, um, before I came out publicly and endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president, I withheld and was going to just kind of sit on the couch. I was going to sit on the couch. And I know that there are people who don't agree with that either. I get it. But what I wanted to make sure was, after much thought, I understood two things. One is we need a leader. That's number one. And number two, we need someone that who do we trust more? And this is not an endorsement trying to get you to vote for Kamala Harris. That's not my twist. But I got to ask the question, who is going to be available to hear an agenda? Who is going to be who is going to be more likely to implement an agenda, right? I have to admit that it would be Vice President Kamala Harris and soon to be Vice President Tim Walz. Okay, but there are things on the agenda that deal with health and wellness. There are things on the agenda that deal with family. There are things on the agenda that deal with business and wealth. There are things on the agenda that we're going to address and have a strategy to execute. Let's talk about the importance of having a plan, Leroy, because it seems like everybody else got a plan, right? And we have not always had a plan.
And that's the thing that I've learned from reading Dr. King's book, Chaos. Where do we go from here? Chaos or Community. If you haven't read this book, it is a must have and a must read in your library. And then the other book, the Operation Breadbasket.
Yeah.
The one of the reasons why I believe that the civil rights movement wasn't sustainable was because of the planning that they did not have beyond a certain point.
Beyond the
And
life of the leader.
correct,
Right.
correct, absolutely
Right.
right on point. And I'm learning. Well, I've learned this in business too. That if you want to have something that is sustainable, you have to put in place a
Mm,
plan that
mm,
is sustainable.
mm, mm.
That means constantly
That's
working
fair.
it, constantly adjusting it, constantly tweaking it, constantly growing
Yeah.
it. Every Fortune 500 company was a small business. I keep saying this,
Yeah.
but in order for it to become a Fortune 500 company and be sustainable, there had to be a plan. And
Yeah.
and that's what Remain is about. It's like, look, we have an agenda. We have a plan for Black men to become successful.
Yeah.
And if this agenda, if these issues that we're bringing to the table are addressed, then the sustainability of us as Black men and men, period, can be successful. So it's important that we not only here's the thing, bro. You just can't have a vision. You just can't write a vision. You have to implement the vision. So it's great that we have a plan, but as we talked about, the thing is, what's the plan beyond the gala for? For what we're going at Remain. How are we going to take that agenda and make it last the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 15 years, the next 20 years, the next 30 years? And you and I, we've talked about the Million Man March. It was a great, phenomenal event, but that was an example of what was the plan beyond the Million Man March and having it implemented. So with us having the agenda, it's not just about us having the agenda. We're saying, hey, here's the agenda, but here's how we're going to plan beyond just developing the agenda and how we want to be able to move forward and be able to keep it so that it has the sustainability that we want it to be able to have. So that's the importance of planning and strategy to me.
Yeah. For sure, man. Without question. Without question, bro. I'm incredibly um excited about the 19th. And I'm excited about the 19th because everybody looks at graduations, and I hate the term graduations as much as I like the term commencement,
Commencement. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
sometimes when we have these things, we have these celebrations to kind of culminate work. And I think that's good too. But this isn't
Hmm.
that. This is a commencement. This is the announcement of something to come,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And it is unapologetically a fundraiser. So the
Yeah.
tickets and all that will happen that night is designed to make sure we fund the work of helping adult Black males. I got to say that because I know there are some of you who say, well, you need to start with the kids, start with the babies. It's a dad's job to start with the babies. I was thinking, Leroy, as you were talking, you said something so powerful. And I know that data. So I know that that data is true.
Mhm.
That they start building prisons off the test scores of third graders.
Yep.
Right? Third graders, I know that there's a school to prison pipeline, right? But what most people don't talk about is that school to prison pipeline begins before school,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So that young man that is not learning in school, misbehaving in school, right? Has a home.
Mhm.
And if that home, Leroy, I want you to tell me, because you and I don't always agree on everything, right? It's the beauty of our relationship. But tell me if this makes any sense at all. Before that young man goes to school, he's at home. And the environment and culture of that home is going to provide some level of influence to who that young man is in school, right? It has been stated over and over again, and the data proves this is not to take away from our sisters. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done and continue to do. You continue to stand. But what happens, Leroy? What would happen, man, in your mind, in your opinion? What would happen if we could reintroduce brothers into the family unit? Does that young man have a different environment if a dad is home? And is that environment then shifting the way he shows up at school? Because when dad shows up at school, you got a problem. If dad's got to take off of work and show up at your school, he's not coming to play checkers. that dude is coming to warm the seat of your pants, right?
I
Does
like the way you put that warm the seat of your
yeah,
pants.
warm the seat of
Yeah,
your
it's
pants?
good. That seat gonna be a hot seat, bro.
So we don't often talk about the stage before the school to prison pipeline. The school to
Yeah,
prison
yeah,
pipeline is influenced by the home. And
correct.
I'm not saying that that's
Absolutely.
everything, but I'm saying that's a major component that we got to pay attention to.
It's a vital part to it, but that goes to what I was saying, bro. How they the narrative that they want to have. That's what the single motherhood is about. The multiple baby mamas, the children out of wedlock. All of those things wrap up. Can you imagine a young man being frustrated about not having his father in his life, and the father could be in the home and still not be a presence to that child.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
My dad
but you
was. My
know,
dad was. He didn't have the emotional capacity, right? All of you know that I talk often about the fact that my dad left me 3 times. One of those times was him being present in the house, but emotionally absent. Not because
just
he was
not
a
there.
bad dude. He didn't have the capacity, which most guys don't, which is a part of what we address inside Remand. But go ahead.
Absolutely. But you have a young boy who was trying to figure childhood out,
Yes.
and the home is in chaos,
Yes.
and then he has to come to school, and you're asking this young man who's coming from an environment that's chaotic. You want him to come to school
Talk right, man. Talk right, man.
and to be able to comprehend things
Boy,
when
that's so good.
everything at
Wait. God knows that you ever been hit and didn't feel it until seconds later? you ever,
yes, them
you ever,
endorphins take a second to kick in, but
yeah.
they kick in.
So you just said, say that phrase again, Leroy. You just talked about how, so because here's why I have you say it again. Oftentimes what we talk about is whether or not a child has eaten at home and the fact that that child is
Mhm.
impoverished and the child, right? And so, how can we expect a child to learn when a child is
Hmm.
hungry? We've heard
Hmm.
that narrative, and that narrative is true. But I
Yeah,
don't know that
yeah,
we've ever drawn the connection between chaos in a home and perhaps that not being able to eat is a part of that chaos, but the
correct,
chaos
correct.
at home and expecting that child to learn in school. Rewind that, bro, because I think that's so powerfully spoken.
And I think it's one of the contributing factors to why young black boys, we when we talk about learning, we don't take into consideration what the environment is like in the home. You know,
Yup.
mom in 2, 3 jobs because she doesn't have the doesn't have the support of a husband there. And so she's working 2, 3. She's not able to make sure that the young man is doing his homework. He on his way to school and from school, he's trying to avoid or at least trying to figure out how he can maneuver himself around the gangs that are
Yeah.
filled in his neighborhood because
Yes.
they're pushing him, and even in school. But we're dealing with the home first.
Yes.
Even he where he's got to try and figure out how to manipulate and deal with that in the within the
Yes.
neighborhood. So you have all of this chaos that he's dealing with, and
That's
and
so
he's
true.
trying to figure it out because he don't know,
That's so
and he
true.
doesn't have he doesn't have the support to be able to figure all of that out with the male figure that if they were there could provide some sort of
That's so
support in
true.
figuring that out.
That's so
and
true.
and I could speak to that because I was one of those young boys.
Yeah.
Now, my neighborhood wasn't the worst neighborhood because that was what my mom did. She made sure that we lived in neighborhoods in the neighborhoods that weren't the inner city, if you will,
Yeah.
that was more conducive to that kind of environment. But there was still that I, still you didn't have that male presence that I always had. And I had my dad in my life more than what other brothers did. Even though my mom and dad were divorced since I was 10, I still would visit my dad. I would still stay with him weekends. I would still spend summers with him. So he had a presence in my life,
Yes.
and I'm grateful for that. And I'm fortunate, and this is what we have. We've gotten away from this. Teachers that realize the environment that the students are coming from. I had a Miss Reagan who was my Algebra 1, Algebra 2 teacher. She was adamant about making sure that her students that they learned while they were in school and
Yes.
understood the environment that we had to face. She got me into the Gilman Upward Bound program
Yes.
because she cared about the environment that we were in. And she knew that if I put this young man who might not know how to navigate this childhood that he's in, if I put him in the right environment and I give him the tools to be able to do and be successful, he can be successful.
Yes.
And that's what we haven't done. I don't believe that the teachers of this day, they don't understand or take into consideration the environment that the students are coming from, and the, like we said, the chaos that they're dealing with, and taking that into a factor, and making sure, hey Johnny, I noticed you've been kind of, kind of distant in class today. What's going on?
Let
and
me let
and
me
the
let me
truth be,
pause you right there, Leroy,
uh,
because I think that's an accurate statement when
mhm,
you say that our educators are not taking into account
yeah,
what a young man or a young woman has to deal with at home. Because by the way,
yeah.
I know we spend a lot of time talking about the influence of fathers on young black boys, but let's be clear,
Yeah.
young black girls
Yep.
are
Absolutely. Oh
impacted
man.
as
Whoo,
well
bruh.
as much, if not more,
Whoo.
right? The importance of a dad. So here's my push, man, that I want you to talk about, right? And
Mhm,
by the way, those of you that don't know what we're talking about, like, what are these guys talking about? We're talking about the Remand Gala. We're talking about
mhm.
www.weareremand.com, scrolling down a half a page and going to that, click the now button, and buying that ticket. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's what we're
sir.
talking about, right? But Leroy, it's You and I grew up during a time. I don't know. You seemed like after the
No,
day.
you older than me, so I don't know.
No, sir. Not when you went to a $2 movie. Like, yeah. I ain't never went to no $2 movies. I don't quite know. I know you say you 55, but you probably more like 62, bro. You
Okay.
lying somewhere.
Shoot, I remember getting a haircut. I remember getting a haircut for 99 cents, bro. So
yeah, Leroy.
yeah.
Yeah, let's be clear, yeah.
I don't know what it was like, but
Leroy,
yes, sir.
Leroy old, y'all. Leroy old. Leroy is old officially. So Leroy, there are many people that would argue, right, that it is not the educator's job to try to control a student. A student should come to school ready to learn. Now, that's the difference between, like, when you and I were growing up, all jokes aside, when you and I were growing up, we had teachers that cared. Like that, my teacher would call my mom, like, Aretha, Eddie is doing A, B, and C. And my mom would do what she does because it's illegal now. Like, they can't lock her up now. She gone, so they can't lock her up now. And during that time, she would say, "Call the police. Call them.
Call the popo. Call the popo. I ain't scared of the popo."
Right? But those are. I'm not sure that that's what those teachers' job was.
It wasn't.
Their job wasn't to do that, but they cared. No. Right? Today's teacher is more like, hey, send your student here ready to learn. And so you talk often about the fact that no one put us out the home, we left. Like we left the home. And so because we left, only we can go back. Like nobody's gonna put you back. Either you go back or you don't go back, but let's not blame it on the system. So I love when you talk about the fact that let's own the responsibility of going back home, right? Mm-hmm. So the responsibility of making sure a student is prepared, secure, in the right state of mind happens when dad is present. So this is the importance of dad going back too, because a child that is disciplined enough to go to school learning because he knows if I don't, Pops, like I just don't want Pops to show up.
Here's the thing, bro. I went to the high school I went to. My dad was the assistant football coach there.
Right.
He was the basketball coach, and he was one of the phys ed teachers. So I couldn't act up in school if I wanted to, because all they had to do was go down to the gym, Mr. McKenzie. Yeah. And there was nowhere in the world I wanted to have my dad, because I don't know if I ever told you this story. My dad had no problem embarrassing me at all. It would be considered abuse this day. We're at practice. I'm playing JV basketball. I'm on the basketball team, right? I'm the starting point guard. He wants us to run a play. I didn't understand what he was trying to do. So I asked my dad. At least I thought I was asking him. I'm like, how do you want us to run it? Bruh. He walked up to me, straight across my face, right in front of everybody. No lie. And I was hot. I came down, cussed about a bump, hit about a couple of J's because I was hot. I was mad. I did not speak to my dad, and I got to go home with this dude. Right. I had to go because I was staying with him at the time. This is my freshman year in high school. I had to go home with this dude. I did not speak to my dad for 2 weeks. I ain't say a word to him because that was him.
Yeah.
So if a parent has to come up to the school, what they gonna do? Yeah. I was like, if he had to come up, he was already there. Yeah. And I'm with him already.
Yeah.
So I think that having a father figure in the household is important. It is vitally important, because I ain't saying you gotta go smack your kids. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying all that stuff.
I'm saying it. Smack your kids. Smack your kids. They will be honorary doctors, Smack your kids, they will graduate college. Smack your kids, they will own a business. All the things that Leroy is because his dad didn't care whether or not he was embarrassed in the moment. His dad
Yep.
was preparing him for a future that if he didn't do shit like that, Leroy wouldn't be the man Leroy is. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. Today I had this conversation. A friend of mine, I think she's one of the most brilliant people around, right? But she is not but she's one of the most brilliant sisters I've ever met. She is really hard on Black men. So today she was talking about how and she's a city council person in Delaware. So she was talking about how men should stop saying or demanding that women smile. So a brother walks by and say, "Smile, sis." Right? And she said, "That's you commanding us to smile." And another sister said, "That's that patriarchy." Like, come on, y'all. Like, come on. Yeah, like this is a part of the reason why. And I said to her, I said, "Hey, sis, brothers are confused now. Like,
Yep.
how you can take a comment like 'smile, sis' to mean that we're trying to control you is crazy to me."
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy to me. And for the sisters who talk about patriarchy is not bad. It's just not bad. Having a male-led household is not bad. It doesn't mean that women don't have voice. It doesn't mean that wives don't have voice. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you can't at the end of the day continue to break glass in times of emergency and pull us off the shelf and say, "Hey, handle this." And then when we're done handling that, you want to put us back and put the glass over. No. We want to be involved fully or not at all. For those of us that are members of Remain, we want to be involved fully. We want to be back home. We want to have input. We want to create structure. We want to do the things that men do well. So for me, it becomes problematic, Leroy, when everybody's talking about patriarchy. We don't need men. Well, you do. And you need us in time. Like if a dude is beating the hell out of a woman and a dude just walks by, now you got a problem. Now you want patriarchy. Now you want us to intervene. No, you can't have. That's me going off on a tangent, man. But it bothers me when they only want us involved when they want us involved, and there's a unique contribution that men bring that women don't bring, in the same way that there's a unique contribution that women bring that men don't bring.
And here's the thing about the patriarchy system, and I think that women see it through this frame or through this lens, bro. When they think of patriarchy, they think of the old way of men ruling the household, women not having a voice.
Yeah.
That's the frame. That's the framework that I think that they're seeing it, as opposed to what we're talking about, what you're talking about here, where it's like, look, no. Remember the guy Tripp? We talked about. He said one time that manhood is about infrastructure, providing infrastructure.
Yes.
And that's what we should be doing, providing the infrastructure where we say, hey, we have this framework of a family, and we have to make sure that the infrastructure is sound. That goes to what we're talking about, having the infrastructure of the family, of that household environment being sound.
Yes.
We talk about it all the time when we said, hey, if that framework of the foundation of that house, all of the beams and all of those things, if they not in place, that family is going to crumble.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have the infrastructure that it needs in order to be able to be successful. Now, that's not saying that we as men are the be all end all to the family structure. It's not. But
Right.
we are a vital part of it, just as
Absolutely.
as the woman is a vital part of it.
Absolutely.
That's why
Absolutely.
God said it is not good for man to be
Man to
alone.
be
If it
alone.
was good for us to be alone, then
Yeah.
he'd have just left it with just us.
Yes.
He'd have just left this world with just Adam. It
Yeah.
wouldn't have been
Yeah.
anything in the animal. It would just
And
been
the
Adam and the
animals.
animal.
Adam would be a
That's it.
freak. Adam would have to be a freak. Yo, that just came across my mind, Leroy. Adam with animals. Yeah, that's a nasty. That's yeah, that's a whole. Yeah, okay.
but the,
I'm going back to you.
but even and when I hear people say that, whether it's men or women, when I hear them say that, I take on the mindset, oh, so you think that you're greater than God because God says that it is not good for man to be alone.
Yeah,
So you think yourself better than God to say that you don't need a man or that you don't need a woman
yeah,
because God said you needed each other.
yeah, yeah.
And we've
Absolutely.
got to understand that
We need each other. Don't lose that. We need each other. Stop playing like
yeah.
y'all don't need us. We have no problems acknowledging. We
Yeah,
need y'all.
you'll rarely find a man
Yeah,
that will
we
say,
rarely
maybe the
find a
younger
man. I don't need
generation.
no woman. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not true.
you ain't gonna hear that from us. You for sure not gonna hear it from me. No, sir. No. You know, understand that like you said, the patriarchy, I get it, the framework that you're looking at is bad. That aspect of it is bad. When it wants to be used and manipulated to control someone, that's bad. But there is a infrastructure, a structure to the patriarchal system
Yes.
that warrants, you know, things being done in a certain way, and the contribution that we give to the family as men.
Yes.
And and yes, we walked away from it, but we're saying now, look, we're getting it together, and we want to bring the infrastructure back to the home.
Yeah.
You know,
And I hear you, sisters. Don't ain't got to bring that to my home. My home already. It's
right?
not.
It's
It's
not. Yeah,
not. It is
it's not
not at its full potential without a man.
potential. Yeah,
That's just what it is. Jamal Bryant said something that rocked the internet. He said before he got engaged and he's about to be married before the end of the year, right? He said this. He said, I'm functioning at under 70% capacity
yeah,
without a
yeah,
wife.
yeah, yeah.
He said, so imagine where I would be if I had a wife. So here's a man willing to say, yeah, I'm a fraction. I'm accomplishing a fraction of what I could accomplish. And you got sisters saying, I don't need no man. No, no, no. We need each other. Stop playing.
But
Stop gaming.
that goes to what we were saying. What God said. Hey,
Yes.
let we've got to. It is not good for man to be alone,
Yes.
he needs her in order to be able to be his full potential. We were
Absolutely.
not at our full potential with just Adam. God
Absolutely.
knew it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
God knew
Absolutely.
it. And he said, in order for man to do his assignment that I've assigned to
I'm
him.
gonna bring somebody alongside of him. I'm gonna bring somebody alongside of him. And we're not gonna make this a Bible study. That's Sunday. If you want to
Yeah.
hang out with us on this coming Sunday, you can hang out with us and while we're talking at the Braveheart Bible study. But and sisters, I know that there are a couple of brothers that have convinced you that you are your body. We can find box anywhere.
Yep, for
Hear
sure.
me. We can find box anywhere. Box is easy. Beautiful women
Pay
are a
for
dime a
it, get
dozen.
it any old kind of
We can, yeah,
way
like
that
that's
you
easy
want to get.
for us. There's
Yep.
always going to be a sister that gives a man what he wants sexually. Always. So understand that that's not the unique value that you bring to us.
Yep.
You're more than that. Right? We need you more than that. Just like the brother Tripp said, we're more than a wallet.
Yep.
Right? We bring
Yep.
structure. And what's crazy is we live in a society that continues to demonize the very thing that men contribute. Our society is chaotic because it doesn't have structure.
Man, say that again,
Men
bro.
bring
Yes.
structure. When we're functioning
And
at our best, right? When we're
notice he
functioning at
said
our best.
men.
Yes, men.
not
Not
males,
males.
not males,
Not males.
men
Men.
bring structure.
And so we were asked on a podcast recently, remain, does it mean what I think it means? It does. It does. It means exactly that. Going back to the origin of what a man is, remanning, getting back to the basics. We are teaching basics, training basics. And Dwight Robinson said this. Look at what Dwight said. He said, I'm not the same man I was a year ago, let alone 6 months ago. Remand is transformational. And for those of you who say, well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, look at Leroy. Leroy old as hell. Leroy old as hell. I'm old as hell. We learning new stuff every day and holding each other accountable for the new stuff that we're learning.
Right. You know, I put the picture up about my mom's birthday yesterday, right? So I had the picture of me and my mom, and brother been, hey, that's your mom's, bro. That's your mom's. Why does somebody on in the comments? It's like your mother look younger than you did. I was like, this is just cold.
Oh, look at what Zenja said. Look at what Zenja said. Zenja Bloomfield. I call her Z. What's happening, sis? She said, you better let them, sis. Boxes come a dime a dozen, but inner beauty.
Woo!
Z, you hit it. Boxes are a dime a dozen. We can find that.
Yep.
So when you
that's just like this,
just based on your physicality and you have nothing else to offer, you can't calm me in a place of chaos when my world is being turned upside down. With Michael Claiborne, I'm gonna shout him out because that brother said something to me that changed my life forever. And I don't really talk about Michael Claiborne because he's a Dallas Cowboys fan and I hate Dallas. But he did say something. We were talking about Dr. Bryant, and Michael Claiborne said that many times God will introduce a woman into a man's world when God foresees something overwhelming coming that he's going to need another comforter for.
Ooh-wee.
Oh, it changed my life. So he said, hey, Donald, look at what happened with you and Marla. God knew your mom would leave. And he would need another comforter.
Wow.
Help him, right? Look at Jamal. Yep. Jamal's mom just left.
Yep.
But not before he introduced another comforter, because our mothers are our comforters.
Boy, I don't want to use the P word.
But boy, listen, it changed my life forever. And he said, sometimes women misconstrue this idea of help. They don't like to be called help, but being identified as help is the same identification as Holy Spirit. He is a helper. He comes alongside in times of emergency. And the reason why, like my mom, I remember something happening and I just laid in my mom's lap and she said, baby, I know. And she just rubbed my head, let me cry. When a brother finds that, not a box. We can't stay in the bed forever. I know y'all think that we move by the box. It's too much box out here to be moved by a box. If you can't pray for him, if you can't stand with him in chaos, if you can't support him,
come on, man, come on,
siding with his dream, you're not gonna like this, but you unnecessary. And the one thing that you're gonna have to learn is how to remain relevant in your relationship.
Oh, they don't want to hear that.
What causes you to remain relevant ain't your box. because he can find
Come
that.
on, boy, you better you go rewind that.
Like,
Say that
like
again,
she has
because I
to.
think sisters need to hear that.
Yes, bruh. Like a man that has a challenge, a man that has a dream, a man that has a vision, you can't box him forever. He has to be able to get out of bed and fulfill his vision, right? So, what causes you to be relevant is what you bring into his life that no other woman can bring. And you think it's box. It's not. That's why the scripture says, who can find a virtuous woman? Her price, I do feel like preaching, Leroy. I promise you I do. Her price, you done messed me up. So her price is far above rubies, not sex. We can get that.
And
And for the
and
brothers who
get
say,
it.
there are brothers who say, there are brothers who have said to me, I'll choke it before I spend my time with a sister who gives me chaos all the days of my life. I'll choke it. Y'all know what this is a family show. But
Yeah, don't
y'all
go
know,
don't go
right?
there, bro. Yeah,
Like,
don't go there, bro.
right. So at the end of the day, understand, Zenja, get off my live. She said, go ahead and preach. Z, get off my live. So what I'm saying, man, is just like I don't know that we, and this is another conversation. Maybe we'll bring Z and Z on, and because I'm not sure that we really appreciate and value the real contribution that we bring.
Yeah.
Men bring structure, women bring peace. Right? And you think you bring in a box, we don't need that. We need that. I mean, we need that, but we can find that. We can find that. Z, yeah, get off my live. Stop playing. Z making me preach. Leroy making me preach. I am not a preacher anymore.
See,
Look,
and here's the thing.
I just said it to piss you off. Go ahead, man. What was you ready to say?
But the young lady that I mentioned earlier, her name is Sarah, and
Yeah.
she's a part of what's his name? What's the comedian that does the big YouTube stuff? Oh man, I can't think of his name now. But
Wayne?
she's with Wayne.
Okay.
Wayne.
Okay.
She was a part of that, but she does these. She has a podcast that she does, and when she was talking about answering the question, what do you bring to the table, and bringing what's necessary, that's what we're talking about here. Understanding as a woman, and we should be doing the same thing as a
Yeah.
man. Understanding what's needed at that particular time. That's what real men, that's what real women do. They can do those assessments. My like like you said, you laid in the lap of your mother. She knew that at that time that was
Yes.
what you needed.
Yes.
When you lost your mother, Marla understood you needed the comfort of
Yes.
someone,
Yes.
of a wife
Yes.
to be able to walk you through that
Yes. Yes.
that loss that you were going.
Yes.
And we got to understand what's needed,
Yes.
and being the helper, being the helper under you. It's not a derogatory thing saying a helper suitable for you. That means, brothers, yeah, the box is important, and that should be a part of that. And but if those other aspects are right, that box would just be the icing on the
That's the
cake,
icing
bruh.
on the cake.
It'll
Leroy,
just be
that's
the icing on
awesome.
the cake.
I just had a whole
Well,
vision.
well,
The
whatever.
icing.
See, yeah, you took it there. I didn't.
That's
It'll be dessert. Okay, let's just say it'll be dessert. Okay, that'll just be the dessert. You know, but the structure, the infrastructure will be the main course
yes, sir.
to what the family unit is. When you bring all of this and you understand what's needed in order to be able to have a successful family, and what's necessary, and you'll be cognizant of who you get involved with to be able to develop that family structure with. Because
Give
if
me that
that,
quote one more time, Leroy. That because I'm trying to type it. That
which
quote
with the
about
one,
providing what's needed or what have you.
understanding what is needed, and being able to provide or bring to the table what is needed, so that you so that they are able to be the helper that they were created to be. Because you can't be a helper suitable if you don't know what's needed. You're not helping.
That's so true, bro.
A lot of folks, a lot of women and ladies, y'all send the emails to Donald. Don't send them to me. You know, don't get mad at me for saying this. But a lot of our society today, a lot of our women in society, they think that the box is what's needed at the table when
Yep.
it's not. That's
Yep.
like Sarah was saying. If everybody's bringing utensils, where's the food? I can get utensils everywhere, anywhere.
Bruh.
But who's bringing the
Bruh.
utensils? Who's bringing the potato salad? Who's bringing the chicken? Everybody, yeah. I can get utensils everywhere, but everybody can't bring the chicken.
That is right, bro.
I can bring the utensils, but everybody can't cook potato salad. I ain't eating everybody's potato salad.
That's
I'm
right, bro.
sorry.
That's right.
So these are the things that we're talking about that remain when we're talking about men and being able to equip them so that they can provide the infrastructure, so that they can eliminate or at least reduce the chaos that is in our community. I promise you, and Don, I believe you say this all the time. The needle moves when the man is doing what he's supposed to do. When we
Absolutely.
equip the men to do what they do, the needle is moved in the community. We make the community better. We ain't
Absolutely.
saying it's gonna be perfect, but we
Absolutely.
saying it will be
It'll
better.
be better. Understand this is sisters what you can't helping if you don't understand what's needed.
Yep, for
And for
sure.
every man is different. And for
Yep,
even for the same man, it's different every time.
yep.
My mom knew in that moment, all I needed her to do was rub my head and tell me it was going to be okay. There are other moments where she's like, "No, son, you done had a like when I got caught cheating." She said, "You done had
She
enough
going.
behind for 10 men.
Yep.
Time to come in now."
And here's the thing, bro. You just made me think about
That
this.
wasn't the kind Aretha. That wasn't the kind Aretha, but I didn't need the
But she
kind
wasn't
Aretha in
supposed.
that moment.
Right. She didn't need to be kind
That's
at
right.
that moment.
That's right.
And here's the thing: we as men, we as husbands, and as fathers provide that's the other side of that gets provided when the male is in the household. Because your dad gonna tell you.
He
He
gonna
gonna tell you
he gonna
how
tell you.
as my father did with me when I was standing on the side of the pool and I had to take my swimming test and jump in the water and I'm scared to jump in the
Yeah,
pool.
yeah, bro.
Give me your hand. And he
Yeah,
throws me in the pool.
yeah,
Toss
yeah,
me in the pool.
yeah,
That's what the male figure
yeah,
brings to the household. Yeah,
yeah.
it's tough. It's toughness. And I'm like later on, when I asked my dad, how you gonna throw me in the water? I could have drowned. He said, no, you wouldn't.
Right,
He said, because I was right there.
right,
I was right there.
right,
I wasn't gonna let anything happen to you.
right.
And that's what the male figure provides. There's a time and space for those understanding that from both a mother's perspective and a father's perspective. And when you don't have both, there's something that's missing.
Yup.
And we've been missing for far
Yeah,
too long.
yeah. We've been missing far
Far
too
too
long.
long.
I need you to go to www.weareremanned. That's WEAREREMANNED.com. Weareremanned.com. Scroll down a little bit. Why aren't you just sending us to remandgala.com? Because I want to show off the website. I want you to see the
Yes,
new
sir. Yes,
website.
sir.
I want you to see how we roll in Remand with the excellence that is bar none. That's how we do it. And so I want you to go enjoy the website too. Get your tickets and then
Yeah.
stay there, shop. Go to the store, our swag store, get Remand merch there. Character is King hoodies, truth over comfort tees. Um, yeah, rise and reclaim tees. Like Leroy, we got a whole store. We can't get wrapped up in
Whole
that,
story.
but we got a whole store, right? So I
Yes,
want
sir. Yes,
everyone
sir.
to enjoy the website, but go get your ticket. Z said Z said, that's good. You can't eat without the food, but you don't,
Right.
but you don't need utensils. You have built-ins. Yeah. Like you got to know what's required. Everybody
Well,
bringing utensils and you ain't got no food. Like what
right.
what are you gonna eat?
Or everybody bringing chicken and you ain't got nothing else. You
You
know what
you
I'm
ain't got
saying?
you ain't got no you ain't got no sides, right? You ain't got
Nothing to
and
drink.
everybody bringing food. Ain't nobody bringing nothing to drink. Like everybody has a unique contribution that you can bring. The question has to be that Leroy brought today is, can you discern the moment though? Do you understand the moment? Do you understand what's
Yep.
required? And bring that. Don't bring what everybody else is bringing. Everybody got a box, sis. Man, they got manufactured boxes now.
I know, right? Ain't that
You
crazy?
know what I'm saying? So just understand you're not just that. And we bring a unique contribution. You bring a unique contribution. Let's come together and make life happen in a way that is incredibly solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Disrupt the chaos, bro.
Disrupt the
Disrupting the chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. You are necessary, brothers. Um, you are necessary.
That's what it's about.
You know,
Yes.
you are necessary to make all of this happen. You're necessary, and I need you to understand how necessary you are. We got a plan. We got a strategy. We have an agenda, and we're gonna bring it all together. October the 19th, at the Western Atlanta Airport is going down.
Yep.
Get your
We
tickets.
want to thank our sponsors. Yep. Get your
We're going to thank our
tickets.
sponsors, Pray.com, Discover Bank, JNF Enterprises, um,
The Delaware
Marquee,
County.
Newcastle County, Delaware. Yeah. So
Hmm.
all all of the organizations that have donated, and there's still room for you. I think we got 2 more slots for a couple of more logos and spaces to speak. But you got to bring up some paper. You got to bring some paper. Got to bring some paper, right? So if you want to be a sponsor, we welcome your sponsorship. This isn't really about Remain. This is about the work. This is
Yep.
about the audience to whom we are called, right? And that is adult Black males, from the guys who are incarcerated to the guys who are CEOs. We call to you, and we're here to help. Leroy, give us some closing comments, man. We got 3 minutes, and then we're out of here.
Everybody gets 24 hours from the C-suite to the under the marginalized. All of us get 24 hours. As one of my mentors, Dr. Will, says, the only difference is what we choose to do with it. And we want to give bruh, the opportunity to be able to maximize their 24 hours. That's the work that we do in order to be able to serve them. We want to make sure that they have the ability every single day
Yeah.
to be able to do what it is that they want to do, that they need to do as men to become better men. Face that arc as we talk about in Remand, facing the arc every day and being able to understand how to face it and to be able to have a different outcome. The marginalized men giving them a different framework with which to be able to see and do what it is that they do so that they don't have to go back to what it is and where it is that they came from. We're about transformation here. We want you to be Remain is about transforming Black men with families. And that's what we do every day, all day. We serve. Those are the people that we serve. And we want to serve them in the greatest way. One of those ways is by doing these fundraisers so that we have the opportunity to be able to do what it is that we do for them. And come be a part of the gala. As I've been talking about all this week, bro, I've been talking about the ultimate brand experience. Come and take part in the gala and be a part of what we're doing at Remain, the Remain brand. Because you're going to get something at the gala, you're going to get something at the with partnering with us. with joining us at Remand that you're not gonna find anywhere else. Because I promise you, you can't learn about what we do as Remain and become a part of it and not be transformed. I promise you.
Yeah.
It's going to transform
Yeah.
you. And if
Yeah.
it doesn't transform you, it's because you don't want to be transformed.
For sure. For sure.
Jesus only had two people in his life that he didn't transform. That was the man that came to him and said, "What must I do to be with you?" He said, "You got to give away everything that you did." You never heard from him again. Never hear about him again in the Bible. And the second one was the other thief that was on the cross. It said, "If you are who you say you are, then get us down from here. Get us down from here. Not get
Yeah.
yourself down here. Get
Yeah.
us from
Yeah.
down here." He didn't want to be transformed. He was only looking out for himself. So
Yeah.
you want to be transformed, connect with Remand and go to weareremand.com. You can see everything that we're about. We have all of the information about who we are, what we do, how we do it. You can donate to the cause even if you can't be at the event, even if you're not in the room. You can still be in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
That's important. You can be in the room
Yeah.
without even being in the room,
Yeah. For sure.
and that's appreciate it. As that you see what we're doing, you want to be a part of it. You may say, "Hey, I can't be in the room," as the other gentleman said, "but I want to make sure that I contribute
Yeah.
to those that are going to be in the room
Yeah.
and remain moving
Yeah.
forward."
Yeah. And you have to, for those moms, if you have sons, have them in the room.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
was contacted by one of my dear friends who said, I'm bringing my dude for his birthday. I went to
Oh
Fulton.
man, nice,
I'm bringing him
nice.
for his birthday, right? So this is the kind of event where we will celebrate Black men. Every man that will be there, we're gonna celebrate you, bro. We're gonna celebrate you.
Yep, yes, sir.
And so we're excited. October the 19th, go to www.weareremain.com and be a part of this phenomenal event. Leroy, it's good talking with you, man. I'm sure that we'll be on the conversation
Absolutely,
a
always,
little
bro.
later today because I gotta call you about a call that I got or a text and inbox that I got.
Okay,
So I'll make sure that I let you know what's going
okay,
on. All right, y'all. Love and
cool.
respect,
Sounds
y'all.
good.
We will see y'all soon. Peace.
Deuces.